Hey folks, wanted to talk briefly about garden planning and just kind of overall harvest planning. This is an activity you can do in the winter. In the summer, obviously, you don't want to be trying to organize your garden because a lot of times you don't have a lot of time. That gardening can really happen very quickly. So all of a sudden you plan to have a garden, all of a sudden you're like, oh shoot, I have to dig out my garden, I have to set up a compost pile, I have to do this, I have to do that. Just it can become very overwhelming. So in these off seasons, what you can do is, like I do, is try to plan your next year. So my planning has gotten more and more elaborate as I've gone along here. So I have a map of how I plan to organize my garden. I also have a harvest schedule that I set up for myself, or not a schedule, just like a log. And this helps me really kind of focus on what I want to focus on, because if I get too many vegetables planned or something like that, it can throw it just get that chaos can really cause a lot of confusion. But if I have like a set amount of something I want to produce or go for, if for some reason that helps me. And maybe I'm unique in that situation, I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to show you a couple things. First, I'm going to show you my garden plan. It's very simple. You can draw this out. It's just a piece of pen and paper. I'm also going to show you my little harvest log that I have, just so you can kind of get some ideas for how you want to plan things. Doesn't mean you have to plan them like this, by any means, but you can start formulating some ideas in your head for how you want to start planning your year, because I think having a good plan in place can really increase your productivity. So let's check it out. I'll show you a couple things here. All right, so this is my 2025 garden plan. As you can see, pretty simple. Basically, I have the garden kind of broken out. You'll see this more as I start planting stuff, but I don't mess with spacing too much. You'll see it's like an organized chaos type gardening. It's been pretty productive, honestly, for me, so I'm just kind of leaving it as is. But you see I got garlic, beets, onions, SC stands for Swiss chard, radishes. I got another SC there. I have a note next to it that just shows last year's Swiss chard for seed production. So I put notes next to different things. So like number one, you can see that above beets. Once harvested, plant something like a leafy green. I guess I didn't add that last word. So that's the idea. So once those beets harvest, which is usually like 45 to 50 days, 60 days, I will throw in some arugula or kale, something like that, just so I can keep producing the same, from that same spot. And you see I got kale there, beans, I got SC number 6. SC number 6 is Swiss chard for 2026 seed production. And I'm staggering that because I love Swiss chard. I grow it all over the place. I got broccoli up there, I got flowers, CT, I should probably write, cherry tomatoes. Perfect. Those cherry tomatoes. Wrote a note for myself because I knew I'd forget. Peppers take a good amount of space. I also eat a ton of peppers. So I've got those, cabbage, sauerkraut production. I got more flowers there. I also have asparagus, wildflowers again, and mint. And I have a walkway, compost. So that's basically how that garden is broken out. I have a lot of wildflowers in here because I like to bring in a lot of pollinators, and just having flowers kind of adds aesthetic to the garden. Also, yeah, like I said, it brings in critters. I don't know exactly what kind of flowers I'm going to put in here, but basically just different flowers to bring in some different critters, liven the space up a little bit. And yeah, this is the plan for now. Things might change as I go along. So like, for instance, I believe I'm going to not do broccoli this year. I just never have good luck with broccoli. It's too warm in this location to really produce good broccoli, so I might not do it. Also like kale. When kale's essentially ready to harvest and starts bolting, that usually occurs pretty quickly. I'll probably take the kale out and remove the old branches and put in some new kale seed, just so I can keep getting my leafy greens. So anyway, that's my mapping. I draw all my maps in this particular notebook for different things. I have my 2024 garden in here as well. I don't know where. That way I can just look back. That way I can compare my past locations with future locations. That way I'm not putting peppers in the same exact spot every year, which can reduce soil health, increase potential pests, etc. So that's my mapping plan. Let's take a look at my log. All right, don't know how well this is gonna look. I don't have like a screen share capabilities. If I do, I don't know how to use it. This is my Wild Harvest 2020. No, let's fix that. 2025. So this is my planned harvest. I got firewood, catfish, sheephead. You can see I'm going beyond just plants. These are animals basically as well, and fish that I plan to catch. So I got catfish, sheephead, that's just a type of fish, asparagus. I have unit of measure bundles. I got kind of a general time frame for when I plan to go for these. Northern pike, bass, rhubarb, Swiss chard, garlic, onions, beets, peppers, etc. I got deer down here, rabbits, squirrels, coyotes, that's for trapping, raccoons, chaga, that's the type of mushroom. Up here I have my planned quantities here. These aren't, I should note that it's planned quantities, not the actual quantities. At this point, I then have a big black bar here to change that, and then I have my actuals. So right now I have harvested already this year about 50 what I call bundles of firewood. As far as syrup goes, I have the plan of 1 quart. I will end my season at 2 quarts. Now, how am I getting these calculations? I got another tab down here, 2025. It's basically as I'm catching fish. So let's say I catch 2 fish one day, I throw in my date, and I can throw in a location. Those feed down here, that then feeds back into here, so I can get my actuals. So as I'm catching these fish or harvesting asparagus, whatever, I'm filling this out. That way it carries to that page. I also kept this from last year, my 2024 log, so that I can track how I actually did. So you can see right off the bat, I nailed it on my firewood. Catfish, did okay. Sheephead, did pretty decent, and these aren't required by any means, this is just fun for me to try to go for crayfish. Didn't catch any crayfish because I didn't have time. Northern pike, caught a lot of northern pike, and so on. So basically just kind of adding those actuals that I get over here so that I can look back and track that. Potatoes, I got 47 potatoes, was planned for 20. Or apples, I picked a ton of apples. But what's nice is I have this all stored here. So if I'm like, you know what, where did I catch all those sheephead or those catfish? Oh, hey, I can go back to Franklin, or I can go to Mac Lake, or asparagus. Oh, this came from my dad's garden, because I just planted asparagus. Or I can look at these different lakes, for fish and so on. So it just kind of helps me look back at some of this information. And then 2025, I can kind of set up a better plan. I'll save this. I'll have 2026 next year, and you can see already I've removed a few items. Like, I'm not bothering with crayfish this year. Just didn't have time. I got rid of bullhead catfish as well. I'm just going for regular channel cats, flatheads, and these will change obviously year to year. But I mean, this is a simple way to kind of track this information. It's good in the winter because you don't have anything else to do in the winter. So if you can just spend a little time planning, at least makes myself feel better, like I'm actually, being productive instead of just sitting in the dark for the entire winter. So anyway, yeah, that's kind of my planning. It's about all it takes. I spend, I don't know, maybe a few hours per winter thinking this over and planning it out. And once spring rolls around, I got a plan in place and I get going. So it takes a lot of the thinking out of the equation. Anyway, hope you learned something from this. Hope you gained some ideas, whatever the case. If you had any good ideas, or this sparked something in your head, just, write it down in the comments. I'd love to see it. Or if you have a better idea, if you think like, hey, Josh, you're doing this the wrong way, or this is dumb, let me know. I want to see. So anyway, bye.